Good morning, Cam Rohr for Cam's Mortgage Minute on Friday, July 27th. I know, folks, we haven't done a few of these in a few days. I've been actually quite busy. We've been running across a lot of issues, a lot of challenging deals, and what I'm seeing out there is credit situations that are not certainly the norm. There's people that have got a few challenges. We're seeing folks that are have got not much income showing on their tax returns. We're seeing a lot of those types of deals that we're having challenges with getting approvals for. I just wanted to share with you something I ran across reading an article, and it was about basically a financial Armageddon checklist and the things that you need to do to prepare, because there's a lot of dire warnings that some of the different people have. Some people think we're going to be heading to a US style or a European style meltdown, and these were some of the things that they suggested that you should do. Number one is build up a safety nest of at least 6 months worth of expenses. That's right. Put aside 6 months worth of expenses so you've got that money set aside. The other thing is, don't live within your means, live below your means. That's a really good point. The key here is to make sure that whatever you do, you're not spending to the max. Make sure there's room. A lot of people live to the max. I mean, we see that all the time. We see it in the things we read and the different things that go on. Again, live below your means. That's a great way to save up money. If you have a mortgage with a floating rate, some of the economists are certainly suggesting you should look at locking in because rates could change. Again, I don't have a crystal ball on that one, and I can't honestly predict what they're going to do. But you know what? I guess it depends when you took your mortgage out. Some of these locking rates were pretty great deals. I've seen rates as low as like 2.1, 2.2%. So when rates are that low, it's certainly well worth maybe keeping them. It's a really tough guess on that one, and I can't honestly tell you which way to go. But the key, I would say, is keep an eye on them. See which way they're going. The other thing is pay off higher interest rate debt. Oh, that's just common sense. If you're not doing that, if you're not paying off credit cards and high interest rate debt, you're a dummy. The bottom line is you've got to pay that stuff off because it's going to add up and it's going to kill you. And that's what, we could say it was the mortgage, it could be this crisis, that crisis, the housing prices, but I think the big issue in all of this has been credit card debt and other debt that folks have taken on. That is really the killer, and I see a lot of that people are carrying, a lot of personal debt. The other thing is that there's predictions that the stock market's going to be fairly volatile. It typically is. I mean, there's always changes and stuff, so if you need money out of the market, possibly you should contemplate pulling it out sooner rather than later. It's again, these are things that I've been running across and reading, and again, food for thought. Nobody says you have to go out and do all these things, but these are things to think about depending on your situation. Another thing is it would be wise to put off big purchase items. So again, it's one of those things. Do you really need it? Can you live without it? And if the bottom line is you can't live without it, you really need it, then it's worth contemplating. But if it's something you can do, maybe you already have 2 cars and don't need a third, or you're not looking to maybe upgrade at this point. The bottom line in all of this is really comes down to spend your money wisely. I say to people over and over again, it's not how much money you make, but it's how much you keep. So any which way that you can streamline your costs, keep more money in your pocket, that is the smart way to go. And that is the way that's going to help you get ahead and weather the storm. Because there is predictions that we're going to see another recession. Again, I have no crystal ball. I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is that cash is always king. The bottom line is if you always have access to cash, or you have cash and you have very little debt, you can weather these storms that can come and go. So, bottom line, enjoy your weekend. Don't enjoy it too much. In other words, don't spend too much. Try to save that money. Anyway, it's been Cam for Cam's Mortgage Minute. Have a nice weekend. I'll see you Monday.